Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. I personally feel very enthusiastic this morning, very chipper, probably because of a couple of things. First of all, the love and kindness that so many of you are displaying in your lives. You're a wonder to behold. And I just want you to know that what you are doing is building up so much the kingdom, the goodness, heaven on earth here on the planet. And secondly, it's also nice to be able to announce that in 2 weeks, on Sunday, August the 2nd, we'll be having our first open forum from 6 to 7:30 on that Sunday evening. Simply go to our website, click on Study Groups, scroll down to Open Forum, and then Open to our classroom. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. And of course, there's our seminar on Saturday, August the 15th, entitled From Earthling to Cosmic Being. It'll be fun, just fun. Let me again begin by saying, in this week's teaching, while it is very beautiful teaching, the more important thing is what you personally are doing. And I just want you to know how impressed I am by your kindness and your goodness. You are bringing forth such goodness here on the planet. And I feel that the evolution of our lives and of our species are ably placed. They are ably placed in our hands. We will deliver to the ongoing conscious evolution of life within our own personal lives and certainly here on the planet. You might recall that at the end of last week's teaching on pleasure, intense and long-lasting, I mentioned that each of us is on the cusp of greatness, and that a part of our greatness is belonging to something even greater. It is this larger greatness that I want to address in today's teaching, entitled The Collective You. This is a very important teaching. I ask that you open yourself to it, not just within the concepts of your mind, but especially within the recesses of your heart. We will start with a teaching from the psychologist philosopher Carl Jung, proceed to a saying that is quite relevant for each one of us, and then focus on today's main teaching, the collective you. First, the teaching of Carl Jung. Jung was quite helpful in assisting us to understand what he called the collective consciousness. By the term collective consciousness, Jung simply meant the mindset of a group. The mindset of a group. And that each one of us is affected by the mindsets of the groups to which we belong. The mindset could be of a family, a society, a religion, a company, or a culture. And the collective energy of the group influences the members of the group. And while each member does influence the collective energy, it is the larger collective energy that usually holds sway. With this collective energy in mind, let me now proceed to a saying that has been a part of many of our lives. The saying is, you cannot pound a square peg into a round hole. This saying, you cannot pound a square peg into a round hole, then raises a very important question. The question is, where do you belong? Where do you fit in the collectives of life? Where do you fit in? Where do you belong in the collectives of life? For many of us, I think we have felt the force of the square peg getting pounded in to those round holes, whether it concerns family traditions, social mores, business cultures, cultural norms, and certainly religious teachings. For many of us, it has been easier to find where we don't fit in, where we don't belong. We find so many things that just don't make sense, that just don't reflect who we truly are. So what I want to suggest in this teaching today on the collective you is precisely this: where you do belong, where you do fit in. Let's begin. And taking notes would be helpful. To an aware, intelligent person who is not going to be fooled, I think that it's quite clear to say that if you are going to fit in, there has to be a part of you, well, that fits in. Let me just say this again. There has to be something that makes you feel like you are a part of a collective. Has to be something that makes you feel like you belong. And yet, there has to be something that is also very individual. Something that is both a bigger you and yet an individual you. And you must not only fit into this larger collective, but you must want to belong to it. You must want to be a part of this larger collective. So, is there something that has a bigger you that you want to belong to, and yet individualized room for you to be yourself? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. And the good news, the really good news, is that both of your yous, the collective you and the individual you, both fit in. Let me explain. Actually, it's quite simple, and it will feel right, but you have to take the time to look inward and come to see that there are two parts to the inner you. There are two parts to the inner you. The first part that you will probably see when you look within is the individual you. Let's call that individual you the soul. Your soul self is that individual part of you that enables you to express yourself in the everyday world. This soul self, this inner you, uses your personality, which consists of your mind, your emotions, and your body, to do all the things that, well, you like to do as an individual. From forming relationships to going fishing. From participating in social events to going on a vacation. It's that part of you that individualizes. It's that part of you that does its own thing. It is that part of you that is free to do whatever you want. We like and we enjoy this part of ourselves that enables us to do all of the things that interest us. Yet, that is not all that you will see when you look inside of yourself. If you are willing to look a little deeper, you will see another part of you. It is still you, but it is a bigger you. It is the collective you. Let's give this bigger you, this collective you, a name. Let's call it Spirit. Spirit is that part of you that has never left and has always been connected to your source energy. Just say it again. Spirit is the part of you that has never left and is always connected to your source energy. In biblical language, it's the part of you that is made in the image and likeness of God. In Hindu language, it is your Atman, the part of you that is connected to the Brahman, the God energy. And in Course in Miracles language, it is that part of you that has never left its source. And this spirit in you is the same spirit that is within everyone else, whether they recognize it or not at present. Do you understand this? There is a collective you. There is a common you. There is a universal spirit that you have in common with everyone else. This is something that you must more than just think about. While it makes logical sense that each human is made in the image and likeness of God, it makes feeling sense. It makes feeling sense to know that you and everyone else has access to the same spirit. Now let's review for a moment. First, each one of us has what we would simply call a soul. It is that part of us, that expresses in everyday life. And then secondly, you have a spirit that is not only connected to the God Spirit, but it's also connected to everyone else. You are a soul spirit. This is what you see when you look within yourself. There's the smaller you, the individual you, your soul, and then there's the bigger you, the collective you, your spirit. Both are you. You are both bigger and smaller. You have a collective you and an individual you. As we proceed, let us now go back to Carl Jung. Jung said that the collective consciousness is the mindset of a group. So the logical question that would arise is, what is the mindset of the collective you? What is the mindset of the spirit? And do you really fit in? Do you really want to belong to this group, this collective you, this spirit? Do you want to do it? Let me suggest the following. First, the mindset of the collective you, the mindset of the collective you, of your spirit, is your true identity. Your true identity is that you are a conscious, loving creator. This is your truth. Right here, right now, at this moment, you, I, we are conscious, loving creators. Now here's the point. Would you be willing to say that this identity truly defines you? Would you be willing to say that you are a conscious, loving creator. Just think about this for a moment, that you really are a conscious, loving creator. This means that you consciously each day are aware of the fact that you are bringing the presence of God into expression. Again, would you be willing to say this about yourself? That each day, your primary purpose in spirit, in the collective you, is to bring heaven to earth, awareness to the planet. This is the collective you. Do you fit in here? Do you want to belong to this group? Would you like to be a part of this team? Speaking of the word team, let's give a familiar acronym for team. The acronym for team is, perhaps many of you have heard it, together, each achieves more. Would you like to be a part of this team wherein each achieves more? Now you might want to ask a very important question, namely, where do you find such people who understand themselves as a collective and desire this type of teamwork? There is at least one answer. While many of us still have to deal with people who are very engaged in superficial dramas and personalities, who have not yet evolved beyond a third-dimensional sense of their soul self, people who can't wait to talk about themselves, about their accomplishments, their families, their kids, their trips, where they had fun, where you should go. You know the type. And quite frankly, some of your old best friends, are still steeped in these old personality self ideas. But this is not you anymore. You are looking for a team where you fit in, where you would like to belong. So my suggestion is that you join the team of Now Creations, a wonderful group of souls who are consciously forming a collective you. A wonderful group of souls who are forming a collective you. Well, we certainly are not the only ones doing this work. We are one of the ones doing this work. And for you listening to this teaching, the following points are very important to consider. First, the main goal of Now Creations is to assist you to grow in spirit, to expand the bigger you, especially to the point that the bigger you, your spirit, will elevate the smaller you, your soul, into the spirit realm itself, so that every day your soul self will now become your all-the-time spirit self. So that your soul self, what you do every day, what you most want to do, will become your all-the-time spirit self. Never diminishing your soul's desires, but always raising them into higher energies with so much more enthusiasm, so much more fun and joy. Our main goal is to bring spirit to earth, spirit to the physical realms, enjoying every bit of our time here as a soul spirit enriched being. Secondly, we do not meet to socialize. Your everyday soul self does enough of that. Rather, we meet to spiritualize. We meet to spiritualize, to nourish each other. One only has to attend one of our Zoom meetings to realize that this sharing from one of us often affects the rest of us. As one of our members said very effectively recently, I used to be a thermometer that just registered the temperature of what was going on around me, rising or falling according to this and that. But now, I am a thermostat that sets the temperature for what is going on. We are thermostats, not thermometers. We nourish each other. Third and lastly, we are becoming best friends because we are sharing the best part of ourselves, our spirit, with each other. Do you understand this? We are becoming spiritual best friends. We are becoming best friends in spirit. Oftentimes, we don't know the personalities of the others, or even sometimes the names of the other participants, but we do know their spirit. We know the best part of them, and they know the best part of us. We nourish each other from this common place. We are happy to contribute to the well-being of the other team members. We thoroughly get it. Together, each of us achieves more. In conclusion, I have explained to you the bigger you, the collective you. If you continue to grow spiritually, I know that you will fit in here, that you would want to belong, because each one of us is reflecting the best in you. That you would like to be a team member, where together each one of us achieves more, happy to do our parts. On behalf of Now Creations, on behalf of the collective you, I warmly welcome you to join us, to grow us, the collective us. From this teaching, let me now lead you into meditation. And let us begin as we have been wont to do, namely, just focusing on the breath, just never underestimating the importance of the breath, feeling its rhythm within us. Please begin. And if you need some guide words, just say to yourself, in and out, and allow the rhythm to take you where it will. And would you notice how quickly you have settled yourself? Just moving into this familiar space, this nice breathing rhythm. The mind has a tendency to stop its chattiness. Your body relaxes, and you, the inner you, comes to the fore. Just notice this. Here I am. This is me. As you look inward, you will clearly see that there are two parts of you. At the first level, there is your soul self. That part of you that is engaged in your everyday world. It uses your personality, your mind, emotions, and body, and your life circumstances to express itself. Sometimes things are a little rough, sometimes a little easier. But for the most part, our soul self is simply that part of us that individualizes. It's what we do. We're happy to do it. It serves us, makes us feel good, engages us with others. Would you just take a moment and appreciate your soul self, that lovely part of you that brings forth so much goodness and love into the everyday world? Whatever it might be, just realizing all the kindness that you extend, all the love and happiness that you bring forth. Please notice this and appreciate this about yourself. How fun. And yet for you, you know that you have a bigger part. There is something at the very center of you that is bigger than your soul self. I don't have to convince you of this. You know it. there is a bigger part of the inner you. Let's call it spirit. It's the larger part of you that your soul self goes to on many occasions for guidance and direction. And now you're beginning to understand that this greater you, your spirit, is a collective. That which is at the center of your being is at the center of all of us. Your bigger you and our bigger you are the same. Please focus on this for a moment. And may I suggest now the following. This collective you is the only place you will ever fit into. Because it's you. Would you notice how comfortable you fit in? this collective you. Is the only team that you really want to belong to. You want to belong to it because it's you. This is the team. Is it not? This is the team. This is what you've been looking for. It's you. We are becoming best friends. Because we're on the same team. And then do you not see how the quality of your life simply raises as the collective you, your spirit, raises up your soul self into ever greater joy. Do you not see this? How your spirit self is now becoming your all the time soul self. The two have merged into one you.
I honor thee, I honor thee, Namaste, I honor thee, I honor thee. I honor thee, Namaste, I honor thee. Deep within, peace resides, faith abounds, and love abides. The light shines bright to illumine love without, love within. I honor thee, I honor thee, Namaste, I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee, Namaste, I honor thee. When you are where you need to be, within that space, I honor thee, seeing through eyes an illusion, seen through
I know that you enjoyed today's teaching because it's you. The collective you, your spirit, is where you fit in. It's where you not only belong, but where you want to belong. Take the time to review this teaching this week. Focus on the meditation as well. And just know the wonderful beauty, not only of your soul self, but of the collective you, all of us together. Namaste, dear best friend. Namaste.